recently, Seving got a new world record of 28:31. And this features a new strat that we're gonna have a little look at today. It's called AP1 Bull. And the new record is on Sure Glitchless. And the time is 28:31, where he beat his previous world record of 28:34. Alright, so the new strat is Attack Power 1 Bull. This isn't really a new strat, but it hasn't been used before in a world record. And because it's not just a strat, it's more of a route, we're gonna have a full kind of look at it today to see the time save. So firstly, we should go into how the normal fight is done, which is at Attack Power 2. So firstly, you would kill Gyobu, and then you would talk to Tengu. Then you would go to the idol next to the Ashina Castle gate, where you would upgrade attack power, the Gyobu memory, so you have 2 attack power at that point, and then you go through the gate, and then you kill Bull. So with the new route, or with the AP1 Bull route, AP stands for attack power, by the way, you kill Gyobu as usual, talk to Tengu, and then you do the tower jump. So this is actually, I guess, a skip, but we do it after Gyobu's dead, because you're not allowed to skip bosses in Glitchless. But you are, I guess, allowed to skip the door. So, because we skip the door, we don't upgrade attack power. This door is very slow to open, that's why this is an idea. And then we fight Bull with attack power 1, and then after killing Bull, we will teleport to Last Commute Idol. When you kill Bull, the Ashina, I don't know, I should move. The Ashina Castle Gate Idol, or the Ashina Castle Idol, I should say, will unlock. I'm just gonna hide the camera real quick. As you can see down here in the bottom right corner. And here we upgrade attack power to 2 before we go further and kill Genny. And that's where, after this, the route is the same. So this is the only this after Tengu up till Genny, that's the only thing that's changed in the route. Okay, let me get the camera back on. There we go. So let's look at how that happened in the world record. So we killed Gyobu, and oh, sorry. Can't skip it like that. We kill Gyobu, and then we go talk to Tengu. He is required to progress the game, unless you are doing sequence breaks, which you are not allowed to in Glitchless. And then we run directly to the tower, where we do the jump from. This is how that looks. It's basically just Gyobu skip, but with Gyobu already having been killed legitimately. Then we go over and pick up Hanako. Right here, this you do normally as well, in every route, basically. Okay, can I stop doing that? Sorry about that. Yeah, and then we go kill Bull, and the Bull fight is slightly longer. We'll see, I'll show you later in a comparison how much the normal way takes in comparison. So for now, let's just look at this one. So usually he would die right there, but you have to do like 4 extra attacks. Because you have less damage. So then he travels to the last idol. And we do this because if you just run out the gate, you can't actually interact with the idol straight away for some reason. Or well, it's because the guards will be doing some dialogue and you can't actually pick it up while that scripted dialogue is playing. I guess because they don't want you to accidentally rest and skip the lore or whatever. So yeah, and then from here it's normal. After having upgraded that attack power, you're back to the normal attack power you would have at this point. So this is actually not a new idea, as I mentioned earlier. It was suggested over 2 years ago, almost 3, by Xiaoxi, who is also known as Jason. he's kind of a big deal because he was the first to get this get a sub 30 in sure glitchless. This was a long time ago, and at the time he suggested this, he was also the world record holder. And people did try it out, but no one really had much success with it, and therefore this is the first record that we see using it. And you may ask, sorry for the flashbang, you may ask, why am I even questioning it, whether it's faster or not, if the world record did it, and if it's, you know, been known about for a while, so presumably he has been testing it and that. Because I've been compiling a little bit of statistics and stuff, so I've been keeping track of the old route, as you can see here on the right, and the new route, which is here on the left. So if we take a look at the early game, at when he starts at Gyobu, that would be the canyon split. So if we look over here, here, 3 minutes and 56 seconds, 0.99. That is when he left the canyon in the world record. Then if we look over at the previous world record with the old route with AP2 bull, I guess you could say, it's slightly faster actually, 0.3 seconds faster. It's here in the world record splits column. And then let's look at what time he finishes with all the relevant stuff in terms of the AP1 bull. He actually ends up being done with Genichiro at 9:19. So we have to look at this because he finishes the bull split quicker, as you can see, 7:10 compared to 7:17. That is because at this point, with this route, you haven't actually spent the time to upgrade attack power yet. So that time loss from that is coming on the next split. So if we compare the next split, you can actually see that 9:19 in the world record versus 9:15 on the older world record. So on that whole thing, he actually lost 4 seconds. Now, that isn't necessarily because of the AP1 bull, but with these numbers, you actually cannot tell if he saved time with it or not. So that's why we're timing it. So that's also a thing that we're gonna go over later, is the risk reward sort of in terms of using it. So here's the comparison I've made. There is gonna be no sound, but on the left you have the AP1 bull, and on the right you have AP2 bull. So I'm gonna put up the math after this, so you don't have to pay too much attention to the numbers that you see in the splits. The math is gonna be extremely easy. We're only gonna subtract, okay? I know there's been a lot of numbers on screen, but they don't really mean that much. It's just there for the people that are interested in seeing them. I'm gonna link all the stuff in the description, both the spreadsheet that has all the numbers with the world record and the old world record, and also this Google Slides that I'm using. Alright, so at this point we can see that the AP1 bull is further along because of course the other one has already, or the AP bull has spent the time sitting at the idle. So we're gonna see how it lines up after AP1 bull has also done that. And the timing is gonna end when we enter the Genichiro fight, but it's gonna be, you're gonna be able to see before that. So you see, this fight was a lot quicker. I'm actually gonna rewind a little bit. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits, and then 2 deflects, or 2 more hits than the 2 deflects. As opposed to over here, where he immediately dies in 1 hit. So yeah, it is like 4 hits more. And then We idle out here again, because you can't just run out and sit at the idle. That is not possible. Yeah, then we move on here. And you will see that they're actually asynchronized with each other on the in-game time. That is because on the AP1 bull round, we sat through a loading screen. During loading screens, the time is not running. So therefore, we have to use the timer to compare properly. So AP2 bull will finish at 219.95, and the AP1 bull will finish at 218.01. So in this comparison, it does look like AP1 bull does save time. And in total, it saves roughly 2 seconds. You can see the numbers here. It doesn't really matter. It's 1.92 seconds. So roughly 2 seconds. Of course, there is a lot of human error because I had to play through those entire segments. And I made some mistakes along the way. But yeah, should be roughly 2 seconds. So let's go over where it can be used. Because it can be used in other places than just Shura glitchless. So firstly, it's not useful in any of the any percent type categories. You know, your Shura unrestricted, which is just any percent, or your Immortal Severance any percent, Immortal Severance unrestricted, because those just, you know, you don't have to fight the bull. But there is a slightly different variant that has already been in use in the unrestricted categories that do have to fight the bull, which is all bosses and mini bosses unrestricted, and all beats and memories unrestricted. So it's really only possible to do it in the glitchless categories, but there it does apply to all of them, because, or at least in theory it does. You might not actually want to do them there because of risk reward, because it the strat only works if you get the double headbutt RNG, as you saw. I'm quickly gonna go back and show that. It's the best RNG regardless of which strat you do, but oh come on. But with the AP1, you have to get it. So yeah, the double headbutt RNG, you can see here on the left that he will headbutt once and you deflect it, then you hit twice and headbutt again and deflect it. This is the best RNG, and only this RNG really works for the AP1 bull strat. Every other RNG will lose a lot of time. You really need that RNG to make this strat work. Right, let's move on. So, what can we really expect? Like, we can probably expect that people will be doing it on Shura, but honestly, apart from Shura, it seems like it's probably not going to get used, because it's, again, you need the double headbutt RNG, otherwise it will not save time. And you may even find yourself dying to bull. Probably that's going to happen a lot. People are probably going to have to learn a lot of backup strats, because this strat will go off the rails, and you will need to know some backups, or you will have to take the reset a lot of the time. But yeah, I guess, you know, it's another 2 seconds that we can shave off the theoretical best time. I'm sure that it's not going to be the last run with this, but I could also see that we might perhaps see some records that do not use it just because of how risky it is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. Video was a little longer than expected, but whatever. That's just how it's gonna be. Well, thank you for watching. See you next time.